Welcome to Soul Trek, helpful hints on our spiritual journey. Today's theme, letting go. Perhaps one of the most difficult things to do on our spiritual journey is to let go of the things that weigh us down. I think they weigh us down because they're difficult for us to let go. Many years ago, I realized that one of the things that weighed me down was that sense of being territorial. This is mine. This thing, this job, whatever is mine, don't you dare touch it. And I realized that for my own well-being, I had to let go of that. And I don't think I'm a terribly territorial person anymore. Another thing that I had to let go was of being competitive. That was one of the challenges I had. That need, that desire to win. I realized at a very young age that was spoiling my enjoyment of the game. I couldn't enjoy whatever game it was if I had such a burning and heartfelt desire to win. And besides all of that, when I did win on those rare occasions, I found myself alone. I found that it left me alone. People sort of abandoned me when I was the victor in one thing or another. So I realized I had to give up that need and desire to be victorious, to win. I had to give up that competitiveness. That doesn't mean I give up trying. I still think it's important to do my best. It's only fair to whoever it is I'm playing a game with that I do my best. But to give up that desire to win made the game more enjoyable for me. And in fact, I play better. I'm more likely to win if I'm not sort of weighed down by that need and desire to win. So it was helpful for me to give that up as well. And I applied the same sort of thing to my spiritual journey, to my own well-being. I had to give up that on this particular journey. Maybe you've already heard the joke about the guy who's on a hike through the mountains, and he slips and falls off a cliff, and just as he's falling down, he grabs the hold of a branch, a very weak sort of branch he's holding there, and is slowly coming away from the side of the cliff. And he starts yelling for help, of course, and finally he hears a voice from up above saying, "This is God. All you have to do is let go, and I will make sure you land safely at the bottom of the valley." The man thinks for a little bit, and the branch still starts to come away from the side of the mountain, the cliff, and he's growing concerned. And he had heard that voice, and he calls up into the sky, "Is there anybody else up there?" Well, perhaps you've heard that joke before. I've heard it before. I've heard very long versions of the same joke being told. I think I gave you an abridged version. You're welcome. So there is that when that story is told, it's often told in the context of if it's a sermon, it's told in the context of letting go and letting God. I'm not sure I really fully embrace that statement. In fact, I know I don't fully embrace it. I realize that there are times in our lives when we have to, that we really have no other option but just to turn things over to God and hope and pray for the best. But generally, I don't think that's really what God wants from us. I think God wants us to be in partnership, to be active in this relationship with God, and to be as active as fully as we possibly can. And that means letting go of some of the things that might weigh us down. And I think that's at the essence of the good news, of the message that Jesus Christ brings. That whatever it is that's weighing us down, and for people at that time, it was an overwhelming sense of sin. And so the response that Jesus gives to this overwhelming sense of people just feeling sinful and despised is forgiveness. Jesus Christ brings a message of forgiveness to a people who are feeling as though they are filled with sin. It might have been anxiety. The people were living in a war-torn country occupied by foreigners, and they were no doubt feeling tremendously anxious as well. And in the midst of that anxiety, Jesus is calling people to faith, to have faith, to have a belief and a trust that God is indeed present in their lives. And to people who were unwilling to forgive because of the abuses that they had suffered, Jesus is recommending forgiveness, to not carry that baggage around with you either. And all of these things are difficult. I'm not going to pretend that any of these things are easy for us to accomplish, because they're not. These are baggages that weigh us down. We've collected them over years, and it's going to take some time for us to put away those things. I love that statement in Paul's letter to the Philippians. I have it written down here. Forget what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead. I love that idea of straining forward, of forgetting the past and straining forward to what God does for us now, today, what God is doing for us and what God calls us to. So whether it's sin or anxiety or success, whatever it is, these are just three things that can hold us back, like brakes on a car, brakes on a vehicle that are taking us on our soul trek, our spiritual journey. We are to let those things go if at all possible. So I encourage you today, at some point, to begin to identify your baggage. And it might be that you require a trusted friend to help you identify some of those things. Maybe you're one of the blessed ones and not really carrying a lot of baggage around anyway. That'd be wonderful. But if you can identify some of those things, it's really beneficial to your spiritual journey, to my spiritual journey, to all of us on our spiritual journey, to let those things go. You might need help, and it might take time, but please try and let it go. Thank you, and God bless.